celebrating a Caps Game 1 victory. How
Hell
about
yeah.
that? That was a scary end to that one.
Yeah, I didn't like the end. And as I'm watching it, I forgot the guy's name that was calling in landfill. Remember the guy that's really mad at him? He was talking about how they take these lulls in games and stuff, and we basically called him a hater. Well, that third period, that guy should have been running around the house saying, hell, I know what I'm talking about. It's moments where you got to clear the puck. And instead of just clearing the puck, lift it over somebody's head.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to hit these low things right past guys. And for some reason, hockey players, they get that damn the stick on the puck anytime you think you're going to keep it low.
They're so good at that.
Yeah, but flip it over the top and get it out of there. When you're being bombarded with shots, you need to get it the hell out of there any way you can. And I think it got to that point where, oh, Lord, here we go. But you know what? The grade 8.
He's incredible. That was the one thing that scared me going into this.
Show it up once again, baby.
That was the one thing that scared me going into this was there were too many times in the last couple of games that just puck possession in their D zone was just, they couldn't clear the puck. And the first 2 periods, you weren't worried about it because they were checking everybody.
Yeah.
They were just hitting everything that moved. They were flying all around. And then that third period, I don't even know that it was as much a lull as it seemed like maybe they were a little bit tired from how much they were flying around hitting everybody in the first 2 periods.
But it started off, I mean, you look at the game, and the majority of the game, they were doing their thing. But then just that little period where, you know, what's the little bitty kid, Caulfield? Bruh. That dude is like the smallest guy on the ice. He's a jitterbug. You cannot, he was all over the damn place. But the thing is, they just have that little period, whether it's lull, tired, whatever it is too much. And you can't continue doing that. You got to clean it up.
I was listening to G&D. They were out at City Tap House in Penn Quarter yesterday. They had Tarek El-Bashir on. And Grant asked Tarek, who's the player that I'm going to hate coming out of this series? You know, just whether they're a pest, whatever it may be. And I think his name's Brendan Gallagher. And right away, like 2 minutes into the game, he's already mixing it up with somebody. Mm-hmm. I think that's the guy that I forget who got him with the high stick, but they didn't call it with a cross check. I think like him and maybe TVR.
You were following through, so you can't call it. I have seen games that is called high sticking. And now in this one, when you follow through, you can't call it. Well, how else do you call it? If you're high stick going back, that's what they call it?
In the power play, when they had the trip on John Carlson right off the top, man, how do you miss that?
I listen, man. Some of these refs are, I think, just straight idiots. I'll put it out there. But the thing that kills me is, when else is the stick high? When you're following through, right?
Mm-hmm.
So every time you call a high sticker, you can't tell me that one of those guys wasn't following through. I think you have to have control over it at all times. What if you hit him in the eye and messed his eye up?
Yeah, I mean,
it's just a problem.
What was the one that they got called? Who was the one that got called later on in the game when he accidentally caught? Was it Dowder up top? So yeah, I mean, it's
he not following through?
It's just insane. It was wild. There were some bad calls, some missed calls. There's no doubt about it.
But they got the victory. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. They win game 1. Alex Ovechkin is still incredible, right? I mean, the ability that he has. His first shot was awesome. Just keep that thing keep that thing low. Mm-hmm. Can't see where that thing's coming from. Goalie's blocked out. That thing gets in there. He gets the assist on the Beauvillier goal, and then also scores the game winner in overtime. First, which is crazy because I was watching ESPN last night. I know Joe B's call was great as well, but I was watching ESPN, and Sean McDonough was saying he's never done this before. He's never scored an overtime playoff winner, and then 10 seconds later, he scores an overtime playoff
That's
winner.
What you're just doing. Whenever you say something like that, it's a challenge. But what I learned lately, he has crashed the net a lot. And the thing about it, with his hand-eye coordination, you get a rebounding puck, he can hit it, get it where it needs to go quickly. And he was able to lift that one, real quickly. So the whole thing about Ovi, he has exceptional talent. And when he adds other stuff to his game, that's a problem for the other team. I still believe that we're looking at Thompson was playing great, but he needs help from his guys. The second goal, hell, I thought it was one of our guys that basically got him knocked down and had him outside the net. when what's the kid name? Suzuki?
Yeah.
He scored. He was way outside the net and right next to one of our guys who was interrupting him.
Yeah.
So you can't do that to your own damn goalie.
Yeah, that was not a good play, but I thought overall they played really, really well, except for maybe a 10, 15-minute stretch there in the third period. So it was good to see them get the win. Going to talk plenty of Capitals today. Coming up at 11 o'clock, we're going to get into the NFL draft with Thor Nystrom. At noon, your guy Barstool Nate going to join us. We'll talk plenty of Caps with him, and then Alan May going to join us coming up at 1 o'clock. We'll dive into everything. If you guys want to hop in on the phone lines reacting to the Game 1 win for the Capitals, 3-2 over the Canadiens in Game 1, 800-636-1067 if you'd like to hop in. I think that Logan Thompson yesterday was solid. It seemed like there were a little bit of shaky moments when he had to play the puck, when he had to decide if he was going to come out and play the puck to his guys or what he was going to do. But I think outside of that, I think in terms of saving and in his ability in net to block shots, I thought he looked really, really good.
I'm scared the hell out of it because he was out away from the net. And he waits, and then here come a defender right next to your guy. What if it doesn't get to your guy and he just slaps it in the neck and you're not set up yet? So, maybe it's just a little rust. So I wrote off everything that he did not good as rust.
Well, and you got to be happy with a guy that hasn't played for a couple of weeks, three weeks or so, to come back and end up saving the shots that he did and play the way that he did. You got to be happy with that. 33 saves on 35 shots, and I thought some of those were some really difficult saves he was able to come up with and kind of bailed them out a little bit. I thought defensively they were fine for the first two periods. It's really the case that final 15 minutes or so where they just didn't look like the same hockey team. But the thing that I really like, BMitch, is coming out right away. You heard from just about any analyst that understands this game better than we do, frankly, in terms of the Canadiens are a smaller team. They're a faster team. They're going to try and get up and down, use that speed. And Washington came out and said, we're the bullies. We're going to hit you every chance we get.
The way you slow down small guys, you make, like I always tell people, if you take a guy, let's say he's 5'10", 180, 190, and he wrestles with a guy 6'3", 234, that little guy going to get tired rather quickly. And that's what you need to do to him sometimes. Just go at him and beat him up. And when you beat him up, you got to have success against him because later on in that game, as we saw, you slow down a little bit too, because the big guy gets a little winded too. That little guy has longer, he can go longer. And all of a sudden they were able to do that, and it caused little issues late, but we got it out. And I think hopefully that gives their focus back on what they need to exactly do.
Yeah, I mean, they needed to get Game 1, right? Especially the way that they started that game. It would have been a real disappointment if they were not able to capture Game 1 after starting up 2-0, playing so well in those first two periods. But they do close it out, and I think this is a huge momentum boost. And I don't know that it's a crusher for Montreal because they showed those last couple minutes that they can play with the Capitals. But I think the way that they came out, we asked the question going in to just about everybody that was on this station, whether it was the Junks, whether it was us, or whether it was G&D, about can they flip that switch? I think they answered our question in those first couple of minutes of the game. They definitively can flip that switch because they did. They look like a totally different hockey team, especially in those first 10 minutes. But the first two periods in general, flying all around the ice, hitting everyone. They looked more like themselves, passing the puck around, able to dominate in the offensive zone. It's really the only blemish is those final 10 minutes or so when they gave up both those goals. But I think overall, that's a really good hockey game you can feel good about.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you win it, you find all the good, but I think also it gives Carberry a chance to be able to correct some things. We won this game, but we can't let these things happen. And if they correct those things, I think things will be good for them.
Yeah, and I think it was fun just seeing some of those guys fly around. I thought Ryan Leonard, my guy, did pretty well. And got to give credit to Landfill. He called an OV goal, which he got two of them.
Called a Dow.
He called, and who else? Did you call a Stromer assist, right? Strom got an assist. Yeah. So credit to him. And Anthony Beauvillier was awesome last night, too. He's someone that has playoff experience, not with the Capitals, but with the Penguins. And
you quickly get in the game when you have experience.
Yeah, and he played really, really well. I thought his goal was really, really pivotal. That was something that they needed at that time to go up to, because that was the only thing that was missing from those first 10 minutes or so when they were flying around, is they couldn't put one in the back of the net, but they were dominating. Because I was a little bit worried. You get a couple minutes in there when they're flying around, you're like, uh-oh, this Montembeault guy is going to stand on his head, and he's going to – we've seen that before, where the Caps dominate, and then this stupid goalie on the other side gets hot.
Yeah, What was the guy back in the day? What was his name?
There's plenty of series. I feel like you can choose
it was
from.
just one where he just did everything against him. I'll get it eventually, but it was some years back, and he just, no matter what they did, dude, like he had 4 people back there with him.
Mm-hmm.
He just stopped everything.
Well, and that's the beautiful part last night too about getting Logan Thompson back in the net. Is I thought he looked really solid, but we were talking about him having to shake some of that rust off. Well, it's already shaken off, right? That was game 1 of a playoff series. Now you don't even have to worry about it. Now the question's not who starts in net game 2, who starts in net game 3. There's no question. It's Logan Thompson, and if something needs to happen, if he loses form or whatever, then you can go to Charlie Lindgren. But now Logan Thompson's ready to go. Charlie Lindgren's ready to go. And if you can get back Faravari, which it sounds like there might be a little bit more injury there than what they're leading on. They're always very vague with hockey injuries, so who knows when he gets back out on the ice. But if you get Protas back, then you're going to feel even better about yourselves.
I mean, the thing with Protas, the way that they're talking, it seems like very late in the series, but you hope it's sooner. I hope they just being a little bit cautious and not trying to get us overly excited, but him on the ice would be a hell of a plus for him.
Oh, big time. Yeah. I mean, just that size, that skating ability would definitely be helpful. 800-636-1067 if you'd like to hop in. The Capitals win game 1, 3-2 over the Canadiens. Don is in Ashburn. Don, what's going on?
Hey, fellas. Hey, so, that 10 or 15-minute period in the third was bad, but they were missing some passes throughout the game, and I think they'll get their mojo back and start hitting on those, because there were parts where they felt like they were dominating. They just couldn't connect on passes. But if you go back and watch that goal that Ovi scored in overtime, he actually kicks the puck back to the goal line, or actually back to Bolivier when he makes that first attempt on the shot. It was pretty incredible because he was moving across the net, and then he, with his right foot, he kicked the puck back and got that. That's how that first shot got off, and then he centered himself to get the game winner. It's pretty incredible if you watch it and see what I'm talking about. But go Cavs, man! They needed that win.
Oh yeah,
appreciate it, Don.
Definitely needed that.
Yeah, I mean the stuff that Alex Ovechkin, because obviously
I'm not amazed at nothing he does anymore.
You can't be, because everything that he does is just you should expect at this point. But there's some people that are just gifted with an innate ability of whatever it may be. But for him, it's just he has a knack for finding the back of the net.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't matter where you're at, what he's doing, where you get him the puck. Because, I mean, there was even a spot last night where Dylan Strome probably had a better shot than Ovi did. Ovi was in a really bad angle, and Stromer's like, could I take the shot or should I just pass it to 8? And he passed it to Ovi, and there was still a chance there that if Luc Dubois could have got his Pierre-Luc Dubois could have got a stick on it. It was right there in front.
It's the thing about Ovi is where he's normally going to score from, but when he starts to get close to the net on that second, like that overtime goal, there's not a goalie out there that want to see that.
No.
It's a lot of goalies with a lot of confidence. And listen, I believe it's the toughest position in all of sports. We can throw quarterback out there all we want. Everything is set up for the quarterback to do good. Can't hit him hard, can't hit him high, can't hit him low. Everybody's blocking for him. That damn goalie, when that puck leaves the stick, he probably can't even see it. And then when he gets in position, it may hit a body, hit a skate, hit a stick, and it can change direction. And sometimes they still stop that. That's the toughest position in sports. And then none of them are confident enough to say, I want Ovi sitting there shooting pucks at me.
I love how where he's going to shoot. He scores his first goal from his office. Mm-hmm. And I think it was Kobe Bryant said, in order to be, I think it was dominant, or in order to be legendary, you have to be predictable, because you know what I'm going to do and you still can't stop it.
Bam.
And Ovi's going to set up over the top of that left circle, and you can't do anything about it.
Nothing. Because you could be sitting there, you don't know if it's coming high right, high left, low right, low left, or he's going to hit you with one that may be waffling a little bit, and it jumps down on you at the end. You never know.
It's just incredible because BMitch, this guy's 39 years old. He looks like he could still play another 5 years.
What were we talking about earlier? About people want to automatically write people off when they hit 30.
Yeah.
That itch is gone. Okay? Let's get that straight. Athletes today, the exceptional ones, go way beyond 30. Stop fooling yourselves about, and then the people that's still using that analogy, go lay in front of a car tire. Let it just bump you and roll over your head. Because that's stupid. People can go a long ways over 30, man.
So last night, Alex Ovechkin with 2 goals and assists on 4 shots. This is my favorite stat, if I'm looking at this correctly. Lars Eller and Brandon Duhaime had 5 hits. Taylor Radish had 4. Beauvillier had 4. No one tops the grade 8 with 7 hits.
Hey, how many goal scorers do that?
Not many.
That's what I'm saying.
And not many level of, what was it, Cole Caulfield was on ESPN last night after, remember, he got decked in the second period. And I think her name's Emily Kaplan asked, what did you make of getting hit by Ovi? He's like, I wouldn't recommend it.
Dude, that dude, how tall is he? Caulfield.
He's not very big.
And Ovi's 6'3", 238.
Mm-hmm.
Moving that fast, hitting Lil Man. Lil Man went airborne, didn't he?
Yeah, he definitely did.
Yeah.
Well, and credit to Caulfield, just 5'8", 175 is what he's listed on ESPN.
That's Rory McIlroy.
Right. Rory
that
around
is Rory McIlroy.
That's Rory running into Derrick Henry.
Yes.
It's insane. But yeah,
I'm with Caulfield. I wouldn't recommend it.
No, I would not recommend
wouldn't
it.
recommend that at all.
I thought they came out with a really good game plan, really physical. And that's something that I think we were worried about if they could flip the switch. And I think anyone that was worried about that, watching those first 10 minutes of the game, watching the first 2 periods, you felt a lot better. Now, they just got to make sure they play a full 60, because that's the main thing there, because you saw the Canadians get a little bit of rhythm there in the final 10 minutes or so. But outside of that, you got to feel really good coming out of game 1 with a win, 3-2, especially with Montembeault playing as well as he did, the Capitals still finding a way to win.